Because that
that's why
really is a rabbit hole.
it is. But you have to know the different types of, condiments to have with human meat. That's all I'm saying,
Well,
So,
sure. I mean, ketchup is okay, but Tabasco?
yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah, but yeah, Gunship, that's a lot of fun. Those music
Well,
videos
I
too.
mean, there is no honor among thieves, especially if you've got a Terminator out there.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Ugh. Oh, actually, you uh have you seen
No.
The Lost Boys?
Yes.
Yeah. Uh Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Blade?
Yes.
Okay. They've got a music video called Dark All Days or Dark All Day. You would love
I
that.
can see that. Okay. I can imagine.
Yeah.
I see it. Yeah. 5 minute, 11 seconds.
Yeah. Um it's partially cartoon
Whoa.
animated.
Wait a minute. Gunship and Tyler Bates?
Yes. And yes, that is Tim Capello as well.
Do you know who
The
Yeah. 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 Wow. Do you know who Tyler Bates is?
Yes, I know who the film score
Yeah.
movie score
So
guy
this
is.
my cool little brush with him, right?
Yeah. You know him?
He did what?
You know him?
Sort of. I mean,
You've
not.
met him?
I mean, from years upon years ago.
Okay.
He did the soundtrack to the remake of Dawn of the Dead, the one
Oh
that
yeah, yeah.
had all those people in it.
Yep.
That's helpful, right? I can't remember. Blah, blah. Yeah, Dead Air, right?
No, keep going. It's all good.
Anyway, he did the soundtrack to that,
Yep.
and due to some legal reason, they could never release it. So I reached out to him, and they had already. He told me they had already printed like something like 50,000 copies of it. He had many thousands of in his that he was given, but they couldn't sell any of it. But he goes, but I can give you one. So he sent me 2 copies of it, and I have one that I opened up, cracked open, and listened to, and then the other one just is still sealed in its little cellophane bag that he sent it to me in. And actually,
Oh.
yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But I mean, I think they have since released it like several years later. But the version that I have has got like I don't know, close to 8 different, maybe 6 different songs, or not songs, but pieces in it
Mm.
that the commercial release didn't have. And again, I don't know what the specifics was. He never explained that to me, but yeah, that was pretty cool. So I've always paid attention to what movies he has been attached to over the years.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ving Rhymes and Jake
Ving
Whittle.
Rhames. That's who I was trying to think of. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cobra Bubbles. I know that a Disney movie shouldn't be the first thing I think of when I think of Ving Rhymes, but it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, he did the music for John Wick.
Yep.
Wow.
I think he's done a Marvel movie or two. I trying to remember where. James. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, he's done most of Rob Zombie's stuff: Devil's Rejects, Halloween,
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah.
uh, Sucker Punch.
Mm.
I don't know if you ever saw that one.
That was the Zack Snyder one.
Yeah.
Yeah. My partner and I have differing opinions on what that movie means compared to what the director thinks that movie means.
Well, okay, I'll agree with you there. Yeah, I'm not sure that I think what I got out of it was totally different than what the director intended. But
Yeah.
I watch it at least once a year, and every time I watch it, I pick something else up that I hadn't caught previously.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, like, there's also different aspects of the movie too that, like, maybe you saw, but you didn't like have it click, or there was something in the background that you
Mhm.
saw, but it didn't really click the first time, or the second time, or the third time, and then
Mhm.
like you're watching it, and it's like, oh hey, oh,
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 yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it
it's
constantly feels like he didn't intend for it to be that deep, bro. Kind of thing.
well, I mean, I think he's even come out and stated that, but, of course, just the ending of it being so ambiguous about, well, uh, I think the big question originally was really whose story is it? Well, I mean, they
Mm,
tell you right there whose story this is.
yeah.
Um, no, I liked it. I think it was, as far as a visual movie, I felt it was really, really well done. And as a storyline, I liked it because up until the, kind of final 10 minutes of it, it just had a major shift at that point, that all the dominoes that were stacked up before it just kind of all fell into place. And I love that style of a movie. I
Mm,
think it's cool.
yeah, it was. There are aspects like that of the movie that, yeah, they're really well done, but like as a whole, I really don't like Zack Snyder. I can't
That's fair.
stand him. Ah, like I never got into the hype of 300 or
Yeah, 300
eh,
was okay. I mean, it was
yeah.
just, I mean, I think you had to be a fan of the comic, which of all the subject matter out there. Hey, I mean, can you imagine the pitch meeting for that? Hey, okay, so we want to make a comic book based on this, this real life thing that's happened, but we're going to take some extreme liberties with it, and there's going to be this hunchback, right? Really? And somebody greenlit. I mean, hey, I'm not knocking it. It made a lot of money. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. It's like, wow, that's okay.
Yes, the 300 Spartans plus, their 1,500, serfs basically
Yeah,
with them, 300, more like 1,800, but
right.
whatever. And then there's, their allies from the thing that were up on the ridge as well, who were part of that whole Battle of Thermopylae thing. It
Hmm.
sounds cool, the Battle of the 300 Spartans, but it's very blown out of proportion.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and listen, I mean, who am I to say or criticize it? I mean, because it was evidently so popular that they made a sequel.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was, I don't know, entertaining in its own way, but not something that I have to watch over and over.
I think I've seen it once, and that was on free to air TV.
Mm. I mean, hey,
Um,
if I'm going to be honest, and I'm really jonesing for a sequel, I would rather see a sequel to that. I don't know if anybody can see it. It's Jason Voorhees mask.
is it a specific one, or is it just in general?
It's just in general.
In general. Yeah, Grim School can get behind that. She's a Friday the 13th. I think Nightmare on Elm Street as well.
Yeah.
What else? Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Basically, yeah, she's
The
massive.
classics.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Whereas I had never watched them.
Oh, do they scare you?
See, as a kid, they did. So I
Yeah.
didn't
Well,
watch them again until I started dating Grim, and then, I was like, oh, these aren't too bad, entertaining and everything, and I like, the little prop Easter eggs,
yeah.
about, but like, yeah, I have more of an appreciation of them now, but I don't find them scary now.
Well, and I think that is, I think that's where your horror fanatics, I think that's where they get it from, is by having been introduced to that type of a movie when they were younger.
Mm.
And maybe that's what it was it just scared the bejesus out of everybody, when they were watching it, at age 5, 6, 7, 10, whatever.
Mm.
And I think that, I mean, for me anyway, I mean, that's kind of why I got into it. But today, when I'm watching a horror movie, it's not because I enjoy watching, people get chopped up or gore or, people eating flesh or whatever. It's not about that. It's about trying to, honestly, I think it's about trying to chase that feeling of being scared, but also not at the same time. Because I mean, hey, listen, you when you have a kid and that kid is driving the vehicle at age 16 for the first time by themselves, you're going to know horror. You're going to know fear at that point. Nothing can compare to that. No movie you watch will ever compare to that. That's not the kind of fear I'm trying to chase. I'm trying to the fear I'm trying to chase is that psychological that's mulling around in my mind. That's like, okay, if I'm in this situation and someone's coming at me with a hatchet, what am I going to do?
I can get behind that. But also, just on that note of kids behind the wheel, my 3-year-old daughter, who was
Driving already?
2 at the time, was sitting in my aunt's truck and on her lap in the driver's seat, right? And she's just playing around, and all of a sudden, you just see this movement of her arm go around to the keys and start fiddling and turns the engine on, and it's like, and everyone just races over and like, because she was sitting on my aunt's lap, she just like quickly grabs it and like turns it off, and it's just like, yeah. My daughter's a little bit too smart for her own good.
Yeah, that's the scariest kind of kid too.
Oh yeah. She's violent, not violently. What's the word I'm looking for? Dangerously too smart for her own good.
Yeah.
Her nan, not my mum specifically. My mum is dead, but my other aunt. My mum's family was huge. My other aunt, who is the kid's nan, she says that my daughter is 3 going on 33.
She's going to be the one that's really pushing the envelope as she gets older.
Oh, she already is.
Yeah, you got a challenge ahead of you, man.
I can't. I just like immediately because I was telling her about this and she came over, and as soon as my aunt walked in the door, she goes, "Oh, she's not stimulated enough." I'm like, but we're doing activities. It's pissing rain outside. It's not like we can take her outside. And she goes, "Oh, I know. But her problem is that she's bored in the house." But yep. She's not getting stimulated enough. And that scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah. Okay. So let me toss this one out there for you. This is something that I'm kind of curious about. And I kind of know our age brackets and our age ranges here. For me, I get bored sometimes, but not all the time, especially in this day and age, because, I've got the internet. I can find out anything I want to find out. I can be exposed to new things like gunship music, and so, I mean, there's rabbit holes that you end up falling down just by jumping online and checking it out. My kids, by extension, yours as well, they are being raised in that environment, where information is just, it's there. I like it because my generation growing up was encyclopedias, a row of books on a shelf. If I wanted to learn about something, I just go pull it off, open it up and look, and what you have is what you have.
Oh yeah.
There was no rabbit hole per se. You certainly weren't going to find anything about, any music bands or anything in there.
Oh, but you could find Beethoven though.
Oh yeah, you could find Beethoven. Sure. But so it makes me wonder if kids of today and even their kids, how bored are they going to get because they just take for granted this informational technology that's out there.
Tori, you're too young.
Wow. Computer since she was 3.
The first time we got a computer at home, I was at least at the end of primary school, if not high school. Like, I was definitely in my teenage years before we had a home computer, and it was
Yeah.
hook this block up to your TV screen and type dot type dot. It was the
Commodore 64, Commodore 128. Yeah, that's what we had too.
Oh man.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing on that game or on that computer too.
Oh, and then the first time we got like an actual home PC, you had the floppy disks you had to insert in to boot up the computer.
Yeah, an IBM compatible. That's what it was an IBM compatible PC. Wow.
Did you ever do the hard disk?
Yeah.
Installing a game though.
Oh yeah.
1 of 32.
See, I had a what was it? DHX 2266 DHC. I don't remember. Old computer, but it had a maximum of like 2 megs of RAM or something. I mean, it's by today's standards. This remote control for my lights probably has more information or more memory in it than that computer did. But yet it could play music. I mean, WAV files. I could play Aliens on it. Video game.
And Zork. The old MIDIs.
And MIDIs. Yeah.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Brian, what was your first computer?
Everyone. I'm saying it to everyone. I just woke up and just saw Kim. And anyways, my first computer that I remember playing games on was a K-Pro 10.
K-Pro 10.
An old CPM machine.
Oh.
I think it might even still be in my parents' house.
Wow.
But actually, see, this has been the interesting thing the past year. Like diving into gaming and being online with friends, things like that. Because I go back to I think this was the first encounter. I think this was the first encounter with role playing or Dungeons and Dragons. But no, on this K-Pro 10, there was a Dungeons and Dragons game, but it was like quote unquote text based, not like Zork or it's like go north or whatever, but no, like a little P represented your character, and so then you'd use the arrow keys, and the little P would there's a little X, and you run into it, and it's like, oh, this is a troll, and I don't remember much about it. I just remember that was a thing. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, Zork was probably the main game that got me into role playing. There was a game in the 90s called Kingdom of Drakkar that I got real big into. But my crossover into actual role playing, like tabletop role playing, that was at a friend's house, and he had us roll up characters, showed us how to do that. probably took 2 hours to do. And we sit down, and within 15 minutes, I'm checking out a chest, and he says, "Okay, hand me your character sheet." Okay. Why? Well, you died. Wait, what? How did I die? You don't know. You're dead. And I've been in love with the game ever since. I mean, it's just that was just such an awesome. Whoa, this is kind of cool. It sucks, but it's kind of cool.
That's also a very teenager thing. You're dead.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Maybe would you like to expound upon how I died? I opened the lid and mimic.
He wouldn't tell me, and the reason why, and so this was my first lesson in how to be a great DM was from this guy, right? He wouldn't tell me, specifically because there were other players in the room, and he didn't want to give hint to them as to what had happened, or they weren't in the room. They were outside the room waiting for me to see what was what was happening. So they didn't actually witness it. And so he didn't want them to have any sense of meta from it. That, we didn't know what that term meant back then. That term didn't exist back then. Sure. And, but that's basically what it was. And so he didn't want them to have an idea as to.
Did he eventually tell you though?
No.
Yeah, see,
I never did find out. Yeah,
that would be. I can understand the whole meta aspect, and well, they're not in the room yet, so when they come in the room, see the dead guy, what happened? Okay, but then after the session, oh yeah, this is what it was.
Yeah, no, he just, as best I can recall, he explained that I was on the floor, hand outreached, was like within inches of the chest, dead, face down. And they go, okay, well, let's not touch the chest, but we're going to loot his body. So it's like, okay, this is cool. I can get behind this. Sorry to have wasted your character sheet. Can I have another?
Please, sir, may I have another?
Yeah. But I mean, it's that was my first foray into actual tabletop role playing, and it was cool. It was fun. So that's where I kind of jumped into it.
Our Beckme games were a lot like that, or our D&D basic games anyway, because we basically had just the red box basic. So we would just come up with different scenarios, kind of using that tool, because that's all we had, right? And I swear to God, I spent the first weekend, so about 4 days of us first picking that up and starting to play it. I spent the 4 first days just continually just swapping over the pre-gen characters that had been in the box from my friend's parents, just continually cycling through them, because every time we went into a new dungeon, my character died. But to be fair, it was not always the enemies that got me. Sometimes it was my friends that got me.
Oh, yeah.
Team killing fucktards is what they are. And I'm sorry, but the one in particular, his name was Brian. So
which one?
That one.
No.
And
sounds legit.
And I swear to God, he's killed me probably more times in every game we've ever played, from tabletop to video games. He's killed me more times than any enemy has ever killed me. We were playing co-op Halo 2, I want to say. And he hailed rockets on my location because there were 2 grunts. 2 grunts. You know, they dudes. Yeah, 2 of them. So he hailed 9 rockets onto me. And then said it was my fault because I didn't move fast enough. He shot me from behind.
Yeah, friendly fire.
He's still one of my best friends, but he's also a team killing fucktard.
Can't argue. Literally can't argue with that one.
It didn't get any better when we finally got Shadowrun either, because like it was just. You know where this is going,
Yes.
don't you?
Oh yeah.
Because now there's guns in the role-playing game. It's not just swords and a bow.
You died in character creation, is what you're saying.
No.
In a manner of
He
speaking.
killed you. He killed you in character creation.
Yeah. No, he died during the Johnson meet. What?
Yes. Twice.
The first time wasn't good enough, so we resurrected him and did it again.
No. I brought in a different character with the same skill design, basically, because we needed that for the op. Basically, the GM told us what we'd be needing for that op. So I basically just recycled, renamed him, basically. And instead of Seraphus, it was Beraphus.
This is my cousin Daryl. This is my other cousin Daryl. Hi, I'm Daryl.
So the first time he shoots me in the head because he seemed like I was asking too specific questions to the Mr. Johnson. So he thought I was going to be a corporate mole. So the second time we make it through to the end and then says that I'm working with another Shadowrun team and caps me in the leg before shooting me in the head.
Real quick, were you a corporate mole?
No.
But by the third iteration, damn it, I was.
No, by the third iteration, I shot him first. Suffice to say that for the first few days, that Shadowrun game didn't go anywhere until everyone just stopped being assholes. But we eventually got to Chicago and Bug City and, actually did the actual damn story.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I died because a bug spirit killed me. But, to be fair, I had been wounded, so it was the logical thing to leave me behind.
It's only a scratch.
So
it's just a flesh wound.
And yet, remained one of my favorite games up until recently. So, I mean, the stories of doing the Bug City campaigns, doing the what was it? German Anarchy campaigns, doing the London Falling campaigns, like they are some of my favorite memories of role-playing games. I've got more stories I can tell from those than I can remember from Spelljammer games and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, it's
But so what happened with Shadowrun recently? Sorry, Brian.
What do you mean?
You said it was your favorite up until recently.
Oh, yeah. No, the way they handled 5th edition was a little bit annoying. I felt like some of the customization, especially around magic and stuff, felt a little bit more D&D-ish rather than the kind of malleable magic that had been Shadowrun before that. And then it could have just been how it was released here in Australia, but there was barely 2 months between the last module coming out here and then the 6th edition starter set coming out here. And it felt like it kind of felt annoying that there was suddenly, oh, a new book, a new edition. Are you fucking kidding me? So that kind of annoyed the crap out of me. Even though I've heard that Emu is apparently one of the core character pre-gens that comes with it, but
actually, I think Emu,
or is she a downloadable or something?
I think she's a downloadable.
Okay. Either way, I like the Australian representation. I mean, come on. If anywhere in the world is prime for some Shadowrun shenanigans, it's freaking Australia. It's freaking hardcore.
Well, and I mean, of course, actually, that's another interesting thing is have you looked at Hollow Streets at all?
Hollow Streets?
Yeah, they started this about a year and a half ago. Basically, it's DM's Guild, but for Shadowrun. So you can make, you can write up a module, you can write up a setting, you can do whatever, and publish it, sell it. I mean, I think you get like half the cover price or whatever, but
better than nothing,
right? And it's because it's like I think it's like 20% or something. No, I think it's like 30% goes to Drive Through RPG, and then like 20% goes to Catalyst. But yeah, I mean, but if you want an Australian setting, write it, because you never know when the publisher's going to do something like it. So,
well, they had done a setting book back in one of the previous editions.
Okay, so convert it. Take all the characters and stuff, and hey, here's 6th edition. No, I've seen people do it for Hollow Street. Here's 6th edition versions of this. So
because like it's got like all the drop bears and all the basically everything we made up. That's totally real too.
Yeah, totally real from Australia. No,
see. Never not going to be funny. Yeah, the like half the reason why the Australian outback is allowed to have gun, because it happened sometime after 1996, 1998 rather, that the module for Australia was released, because it included the fact that Australia has regulated gun laws and you can't bring guns into the country. So if you're a runner in Australia, you've got to have other means to do things, or you've got to be able to hide it in cyberware, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool because if you go outside the major cities into the outback, you're then allowed to have guns because there is a hunting reward system to kill drop bears. Because they are carriers of the HMHVV, the ghoul vampire virus. Yeah, they're all carriers of that.
Because of course they are.
Exactly. But they're not affected by it. They're just all carriers. So basically, there's this whole thing of trying to cull, but because they're so dangerous, over half the people that go out to hunt them end up getting killed or turned from the virus. by the little buggers. And it's like that is some serious hilarious stuff. But then like Australia's got like massive ley lines across it as well. So there's like points in the country where there's like huge energy spikes that a mage could draw power from too. And like there's one that connects straight to Ireland with Tiernanog as well. The same one that goes from Tiernanog to Tiertanninger in the US. Yeah. I know I'm probably losing Game Masters on this. I'm going in too deep with my Shadowrun. I apologize.
No, go deeper.
I'm not complaining.
I'm looking at it like, and I don't know that much about Shadowrun. I mean, I'm aware of it. I've never played it, but my first thought is, well, couldn't you use the ley lines to teleport?
Yes,
if you can use that to teleport, can't you use the ley lines to get weapons into the area?
Well, here's the thing, kind of. It depends how you're teleporting through the ley lines. Because if you do it through the Fae, you're turning your awesome ass sniper rifle into a very pretty branch bow.
Okay.
Yeah. Still does the same damage.
But how does that affect my skill with it though? Because I mean, I would assume that a skill this is different than a skill this.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but that's his point, is that if you're going through the ley line wormhole, but that one happens to go through the Fey lands,
right?
Oh, well, you don't get to bring your tech with you. We're going to turn it into our stuff, and then when you come out the other side, it's still the other stuff.
I mean, there's always a chance it might change back, but rarely does it ever change back, which is kind of hilarious when you accidentally bring your cyber deck through and you come out with a book. Like, great, a book.
Hope you don't have a pacemaker.
Oh no, it turns into like branch, like bark.
So it's instant death then.
Not exactly. There's because it passes through the Fey realm where that is the magical aspect of cyber tech.
Okay.
So it works there. So it retains that property of like the same as cyberware. It's just now you've got a branch pacemaker, or your tech arm is now like a tree branch, functioning tree branch, but it's still weird.
You're Groot.
Groot, yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
And I'll be honest, that's way deeper than I've ever gotten into Shadowrun. Not for lack of desire, but because Brian doesn't play anything. But
can I start talking to you about astrogeology then?
So here we go then. Let's take a Starship Enterprise and fly that through there. What happens to it?
Okay, so that is going to probably turn into a rather large mystical kind of fairy tale boat, like a galleon or something.
Okay.
It will probably have aspects aesthetically similar to, say, the Enterprise. It might have sails springing up from the sides of the boat to simulate the nacelles and things like that. But yeah, it's going to turn into a galleon. It might be able to fly too.
See, I'm fascinated, and this is why I'm happy to for you guys to talk it, because it automatically makes my imagination wheels just go 90 miles an hour. Like, okay, I'm going to be stealing, because I'm all about homebrew, right? So I'm like, I'm stealing some ideas for my next game here.
Well, and that's the thing. Like I said, for me, I don't know a lot of that. Like, I don't know if that was written in one of the books. But to me, that just sounds like this is just a GM just going like, okay, we're gonna have some fun with this. Okay, you want to get your guns into Australia? Cool. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, I'm an elf. I think I can do this. All right, let's see where this goes. And I do think that is just some great game mastering. Because I'll be honest, in my head, I'm like, no way they wrote that in a book. You know, even for Shadowrun, that's just a little too into the mystical side from what I normally see. But I'm not saying they didn't. Just, you know.
If you'd kindly like to have a look at the previous edition, Court of Shadows, you will find in there it does indeed still describe. I think it's Court of Shadows. It does indeed still describe that if you take your gun into the Fey realm, it will turn into a bow with the same properties, but it's now a bow.
Well, I don't have Court of Shadows. That's the thing. Like, I picked up previous edition stuff. Like,
just go to your fun little bookstore and buy it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that place is in the Fey realm.
I mean, I wish we had a place like that here. God, I wish we did so bad.
Well, I wish we had a place like Arizona. I'll go with you.
I'd be so broke.
I'd be broke just trying to get over there.
I need to start making I have to make a sign that says, "We'll make videos for books."
Well, I've been a couple times this week. I keep looking, but unless I start flooding your timeline with pictures, you know I haven't found anything.
So put it this way, I have backed off severely from D&D. Like, I'm still going to cover it because I know the system backwards and forwards, but their whole going after a creator, and copyright striking them and all that stuff over this, the early release of the 2024 Player's Handbook that they sent out for people to review, and then turned and said, we don't want you to do that. And then, well, actually, yeah, we do. You can do it this way. If you follow this guideline, you can. Anyway, it's just caused me to back off quite a bit from covering their stuff. And so my requests that I had for books I was looking for, because so I'll be honest with you, what my original idea was going to be was to pick up, it's not within a hand's reach now, but pick up like the original D&D books and then do the reviews of those as if they had just come out.
Sure.
And I just thought that'd be neat. But then talking to an attorney friend of mine, well, problem there, Brian, is Wizard still owns the copyrights to those too. So.
Oh, yeah. That's the weird thing. Like any other company, I haven't done like a full page flip through, usually if I'm putting a PDF up on a video, like when I jump to sections, I try to scroll really fast so that that way they're not like, here's time to stop and screenshot every single page. But even then, any other company is just like happy to have coverage, any kind of coverage.
And that's why I'm jumping to other companies because, I want to, Tales of the Valiant, for example. I mean, ask Seraphis. I mean, I think he was probably one of the key facilitators here of them coming out and stating, hey, you want to cover our book? We're going to take the controversial stance of, go for it.
Although
show what you want.
I will admit, I'm not interested in it, but they made the dumbest marketing decision in going. It's like, hey, we're going to call it Black Flag. Oh, well, that was just for play testing. Now we're just going to call it, Tales. No, call it Black Flag. What is wrong with you? Come on.
Do you know what the project name for their world setting for the Tales of the Valiant setting is called?
No, because I haven't looked at any of it.
Okay, it's called Project Sharon.
That's
as in the ferryman.
Oh. I mean, still not as good as Black Flag.
Yeah, I know, but it keeps up that whole, the ferryman of death taking you over the river Styx, It's like, that's pretty metal, but
what is it
they're
going
going to change it to something else.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
What is it ultimately going to end up being called?
Yeah. And I will say I like the idea of it being Tales of the Valiant as something you can brand over, but I do wish they had stuck with calling it Black Flag, because it's just more metal.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I see a problem in general in that, like, hey, Black Flag, the role-playing game, you're probably going to go, oh, it's about pirates. Okay, that could be a problem. But Tales of the Valiant is still stupid.
Although I do like their designs for the Valiant, basically, that they're showcasing off in like the marketing material and stuff. There's a cool looking dwarf sorcerer wizard mechanist. I can't quite tell what he is, but he's got a cool design to him. There's an awesome fighter chick who's in one scene is carrying the head of like some giant snake with a ruby embedded in its head. She's carrying the head, she's slaying the thing, and she's just like like there is some like absolutely hardcore, I'm going to keep using the word metal, imagery in the book, but Tales of the Valiant is just kind of a soft name for it, especially when you see how absolutely hardcore like some of the classes get. Like, especially the fighter. The fighter can kick about 20 different kinds of ass, almost on third edition levels. Like, a fighter in one round can do at level 20 is doing about 120 something points of damage in a round.
I mean, go ahead. Sorry, Brian.
Well, I was just going to ask, how does that compare to like an appropriate challenged monster? Like how many hit points would your average monster be that group would be facing? I mean, is it scaled to meet that damage, or?
That's the thing. So you look at your higher level enemies, like your ancient dragons and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and the book at the beginning says that variant rules, you can add damage reduction to your creatures who have legendary actions, like ancient dragons, like mummy lords. So, like, yeah, they can be doing 120 damage, and the target might only have like 300 hit points, but then they can, like, for every strike, they can reduce damage by like 10 or 20, and then they're only doing like half that damage or a third of that damage.
Yeah, but I mean, is a level 3 fighter and their party really going to be going up against ancient dragons and mummy lords?
No, that's for a level 20.
Oh,
fighter.
Level 20 fighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, that scale there.
Yeah. I got you.
Really,
I follow you.
Yeah. But then, like, that seems like it neuters the whole idea of, having powerful characters. But then, like, if you look at different classes and how they can be synergized together, like I've said this in the Mechanist video. A Mechanist in a vampire game can turn the entire party into vampire slayers by level 9. Just having repeating crossbows shooting daylight at vampires.
Wow.
Just yeah. Like it's ridiculous how much you can get some synergy out of just looking at the class options and seeing, oh, hey, oh, if you do that, and that, oh, you could totally get through like the damage resistance of something, or find ways to overcome those things. So, but yeah.
So I want to shift a little bit. Seraphis, you had mentioned to me on Discord that you found hidden spells in a book.
Yeah.
What was tell me about that?
That annoyed the crap out of me. So I'm playing in a 3.5 game, and I'm playing an artificer who's from Eberron, but on a different world because of spelljamming reasons, right? And so I was focusing all my attention on basically the core set of where I knew things were going to be. So like the Eberron campaign set, Eberron campaign setting, Magic of Eberron, Faith of Eberron, Dragons of Eberron, and Races of Eberron, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's generally where all the main things that an artificer would need, like infusions, spells, magic items, all that stuff, right? And then I'm in the Eberron Discord, and they're talking about something, and I'm like, I've never heard of that. How? What? And I go down, and they mention a book. I'm like, what? That's a location book. It's Stormreach. It's just talking about like this city, this port city of all things, on Zendrick. That I mean, yeah, I know about it, but it's a who cares, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going through it, going through, and there down the bottom on page 21 or something, there's a bar at the bottom, and it's a spell that allows the caster, if they are a shape changer, or have like polymorph or something like that, to
Shifters.
be able to, or shifters, to be able to go unrecognized even through true seeing. So you wouldn't be able to tell that they are actually a different creature. So like a changeling, a shifter, an illusion caster, if they're in a different form and they maintain that form for a while and then use the spell, undetectable. They are as good as being that thing, according to even true seeing.
And so that spell that doesn't pop up in anywhere else. I mean, it's just just right there. Wow.
Nope.
Huh.
Also interesting. Wouldn't even bring it up unless But so playing an artificer, right?
Mm-hmm.
A dwarven artificer, no less.
Right.
So I had gone through the Dragonmarked book just to be familiar with House Kundarak, which is the dwarven Dragonmark house. Cool. I understand all that stuff. Didn't see any of their information about their seals or their arcane vaults, but that's fine. I'll figure something out, right? Eberron Discord. After seeing the Stormreach thing, I'm like, just out of curiosity, did I miss something? Iffy. Oh yeah, Shan. Are you fucking kidding me? Go look in Shan, the City of Towers locale book for 3rd fucking edition, and there it is. Arcane Seal spells. It's across 2 pages. Spells and magic items. There's Arcane Seals. There's Voluminous Vaults.
So is this stuff that your character now is suddenly going to have access to?
Oh, yeah, he's going to have access to it, all right. But the bitch of it is that this would have been really helpful during character creation because I can't change my character now.
Mm.
But, carrying around a strapped voluminous vault that's only 3 feet by 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet, that's just a big backpack, right?
That's why you need a bag of holding.
Oh, yeah. But inside the voluminous vault, it's 375 cubic feet inside of it. That's bigger than a bag of holding.
Yeah.
And it's got an arcane seal on it, which means only the person with the key can open the vault. So Githyanki can't raid your stash. No one can raid your stash except you with the key. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? The fuck. The absolute fuck. I wasted time and a lot of my starting resources on making because, of how I thought the game would be going. And here we are 2.5 years later. I'm making a good staff weapon, basically, because I thought that would be useful for what looked like it was going to be, maybe to the end of the year, and then would be done with the adventure, and then I'd be able to go craft all the stuff I actually need, right? Or want. Nope.
And you're still in the dungeon.
We're still in the dungeon. We cleared out 100 undead today.
And you're still in the dungeon.
We're still in the dungeon.
But we're in room 3.
We're in room 3.
Room 4 is the Inner Sanctum Temple of Hell. And that's Hel, for clarification, the goddess Hel. That's our next stop. And then we just have to make it up to I believe he's an ice giant Jarl, High Jarl's quarters, and then we slay him, and that's the kill that we're after. Because once he's out of the picture, the rest of them are going to fall apart because they'll go into infighting. He's the one keeping them together. So, but it's taken us 2 years to get up 3 floors.
Wow.
Now, I understand that that we are dwarves and we're running through a keep designed for titans. I understand the size difference here.
So you got to have grappling hook and rope just to get up 1 step.
You're not too far off. The giants have made modifications to it because that's even big for them. But my God, it's like, I love playing with the group. I absolutely am having a blast in every regard other than the pace.
Yeah, we've definitely had our fair share of a snail's pace, but we've had our fair share of balls to the wall, nonstop action too. Doesn't sound like you've had that in this one anyway.
Well, the good news is that once this is complete, the whole idea that the GM wants to do next time is going into episodic adventures that won't last more than 3 sessions.
Gotcha.
I love that idea. I supported that idea.
Characters or new characters?
Same characters.
Yeah.
Because it's basically going to start touching upon the fact that we've now got a artificer who understands spell jamming technology that can help them turn their airship into a
Right.
spell jammer.
Right.
So that's me. So the whole idea of having this downtime after this adventure wraps up, and then the start of when the episodic stuff starts, basically.
Mhm.
There's going to be like a year or so of downtime in game,
Gotcha.
and
Yeah.
so there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to try to get done, and but oh my god, I need to just destroy a bunch of stuff that I've got and then just remake it into
Well, if you have a year's worth of downtime, I mean, that should be plenty of time to kind of reskin your character a touch.
a little bit. But what's really going to be helpful is the astral plane workshop that the mages that the wizard is going to make for me. So, one day in here, or one day in the material plane, like a
Right.
year in there. So we're going to get so much crafting done. So that's
Seraphis is finally going to level up. No.
He will have aged 40 years, but he will have gained 1 level.
Oh my god, it's funny you should say that, because we found a picture of like when between when we were moving and like recently, and it's just like, I've aged so much. Has it been years, or have the children withered me?
Or both.
Yes.
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 You think this gray in my beard is natural? No.
So this is from the kids. This one is from work. This is from the wife. This is from every time my car has decided it's going to crap out and needs some work done to it. Let's see. This one right here.
And keep in mind, I've had with this beard, I've had this hair for like quite a while. It was black at one point. The hair hasn't gone anywhere. No, the wife clearly walked into the not knowing what conversation was happening.
That sounds like the beginning of this show.
I was asleep. I wasn't here for that part.
Okay, so I got to ask, when consuming flesh, what condiment is your go-to choice?
I mean, the way you phrase that is disturbing in and of itself. I realize that could apply towards beef or chicken or human.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Right. Are we talking
just tap into that conversation with Max on Bear's stream the other day. Just remember where that went.
Yeah. No, that was anyways, when I'm eating meat, I like to think I'm the one that's not going to eat human. It's barbecue sauce. So currently, preferably Rudy's.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So
we determined last night, we had pizza. We threw a frozen pizza into the oven, and we determined that between me, my son, and my daughter, 60% of the pizza becomes Tabasco sauce. Tabasco needs to make their own pizza brand where the sauce is mostly Tabasco. I think that's a missed opportunity for them. The McElhaney Company, they need to market that.
I prefer the toppings to be spicy because that's it. I'm not a big Tabasco fan. Because to me it's just heat. It's not a lot of flavor. I mean, I know there's flavor there. It's just to me I'm from Arizona. Give me salsa. You know.
Sure.
Yeah, there's heat and flavor, but yeah. So, give me like a spicy Italian sausage or something on the pizza, or jalapenos. Yeah.
I like the Tabasco because I think it's a good carrier. Pizza is a good carrier of it.
Right. You want to eat your Tabasco sauce, and so you use the pizza to get it there. It's
Sure.
kind of weird to just chug the stuff.
Well, I mean, depends on the company.
Depends who's around at the time.
Yeah.
It's like me and peanut butter. I like to have some bread with my peanut butter, but I can't have my peanut butter around when my son's around because he's allergic to it. It will make him die. So that's
I get it.
Yeah. But
I mean, granted, I think some people, if they took a shot of Tabasco like we have done, it might not be good for them. But that lets you know you're alive.
Not as exciting, but yeah, one of the so I met my wife at college, and so a lot of our dates would just be like, hey, we're between classes. Do you want to go to McDonald's? Do you want to go get something to eat? And we're sitting at McDonald's, and they have like the little cups, to put ketchup in. Fine. And then one day we're sitting there, and she's just like, and just sucks the thing down. I've been disgusted ever since, but I'm still around. But I mean, she's still around, so I'm now being glared at.
No peanut gallery. It's a good thing.
And I am not repeating what she said.
I will use my imagination and go with lots of Australian language.
Yeah. That's a safe way to go. So.
In my defense, I'm nicer than Bear. I'm less polite, but I'm nicer. See, she's gonna like me that way.
Don't get me wrong. She wasn't saying anything inappropriate about anyone involved in this conversation. I'm just saying I'm not repeating what she said. Some things you just don't say in polite company.
Okay, I'll mute Game Masters for a moment, then you can tell me.
I'll just do my frozen pose, so I'll pretend I'm not here. Because you just never know.
That's fair. Yeah, no, she's heard me tell the story about ketchup a lot, and I don't seriously, who does that?
Something I did in high school when we went to movies to get fries. It was
extra food. Food.
It's free food.
So I have a friend who used to be an EMT, and he would take they would have a container, jar, whatever, of mustard, and evidently that is used as a gagging reflex trigger. So like if you take a cup of water and mix mustard in with the water, and I don't know what the volume of water to mustard ratio is, and the person drink it, causes the contents of the stomach to come forth.
Just a cheap way to like detox, or we can't get them to the hospital.
Something like that.
Or whatever. Yeah.
I had never heard that. I don't think it's anything I'd ever try, but I love mustard.
Well, but I mean, it is a spice. It's generally, and I don't think it's so much about whether you like it or not. It's probably like the volume and the concentration.
Right. That's kind of where I'm thinking. Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's like, especially like in like if you think about like a lot of like emergency medical situations, usually it's like, we're going to try this. I don't know, but he's dead anyways. So maybe,
Oh, look, he's alive now.
Right. Yeah. But it's like, oh, we can, we get called out on a lot of drug calls. We do this thing costs a whole lot. Let's do this instead. And, it's cheaper and easier on us. Makes sense to me.
See, your friend paramedic story is very different from my friend paramedic story and nurse paramedic story and doctor paramedic story. Because mine usually ends with, and then we clean their guts up off the floor.
Well, I mean, granted, Australia is pretty metal, so
figuratively and literally.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they vomited, or oh, we had to pick their intestines off the floor because they went through the pane glass sliding door. Like, yeah. I guess we kind of, yeah. That, or I choose my friends very, very strangely.
We could go with that.
Well, come on, girl. You've got to step up. Where's your gut story then?
I'm a wuss. Like to put it simply, so Thanksgiving a couple of years ago now, actually well prior to Thanksgiving, a friend of mine lived up north, kind of had a farm property, anyways, had a whole bunch of chickens, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna raise some turkeys, do you want one? And I'm like, like fresh, like literally off the farm turkey for Thanksgiving. This could be interesting. He's like, okay, I'll raise it. You just got to come help clean it, and you can have it. I'm like, well, okay.
I have a feeling this story is going to put both mine and yours to shame, Seraphus.
No, it's not, because I'm pathetic enough that Kim went with.
Wait, is it now a pet?
No. Kim is fascinated by all of that. It's like, oh, cut the head off, pull the thing.
So this is going the farm story way. Okay, cool. I'm totally in for that.
Yeah, no.
Afraid to eviscerate something.
Yeah, she just said, I'm not afraid to eviscerate something, and gave me a wonderful smile
while holding a knife.
Yeah.
tomorrow when you're going in for your what was that, colonoscopy? Gastronom.
The hell's the name of the thing? Shoving a camera down my throat.
Yeah, that.
Endoscopy. That's it. Thank you.
Endoscopy.
Tomorrow
Tomorrow
morning.
tomorrow morning when that's happening, the doctor will turn around and go, and your surprise gastronomist is going to be Kim.
Right? Yeah. But yeah, no, but we went up. Kim went nuts. Like helped gut the turkey, couple of chickens, you know. Me, I was struggling to help pull the feathers out after, you know, we boiled the thing. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm kind of a wuss.
Me too. Just saying. I can watch horror movies all day long. It's fake. I know that it's fake, and I can appreciate them because they're fake.
See,
Put an animal in front of me and tell me to gut it? No.
see, I
Can't
grew
do
up
it.
with family on a farm. I went to an agricultural high school. I've done that stuff. A lot.
Don't get me wrong. I understand. Like I'm perfectly fine eating meat. I'm perfectly fine taking meat out and you know, like handling it to cook it. I have no problems with that. You know, and I understand that there is a process to go from
Living to
chicken
dead.
to dinner. Okay. I just don't want to be involved in that middle section. You know,
the way I see it, somebody is being paid for that. I'm happy to pay them for that. I'm not looking to
Facts.
take their job.
My aunt, one of my other aunts, this one was my godmother. She's the one that introduced me to sci-fi, to basically everything that's made me me. So she's to blame. She loved the woman. Unfortunately, she's dead now, but I didn't have anything to do with it. But when I was still single digits, we and a bunch of the other cousins and stuff had dinner up at the farm. And as she was bringing out each roast, there was a chicken roast, there was a pork roast, there was a beef roast, there was lamb roast, basically enough to feed like almost 20 children, basically, right? From the ages of 6 to about 20. So there's a lot there. And she's going, so here's the chicken. This one's name was Betty. Brings out the note. Here's the lamb chops. This was Coco. Kept going, and it threw like my sister and a bunch of the others cousins off from eating the food, and it was hilarious. I love her for that.
At the dinner table, hey, can I have another slice of cocoa?
Exactly.
Jeez. Oh wow.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to the point where we eat our own chickens.
I thought you were gonna say children. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, we're definitely not eating our own children
Yet.
But yeah, no, I understand the theory of, oh, don't name them because then when you have to eat them, but it's like, it's still a chicken. You know, it's not my firstborn child. It's a chicken. You know.
Yeah, we had six chickens, and then we're now down to 2. The other 4 have all died of natural reasons. But I mean,
not that you know what they are, because they died one day.
Yeah, they just died one day. But I mean, we've buried them all. We didn't eat any of them, mainly because I mean, and we had somebody say, well, why didn't you just eat them? Well, because we don't know what they died of.
No, exactly. And the thing is, that's what's happened with all of our chick. Like we've literally lost like 5 chickens this year.
Yeah.
And my friend that raised the turkeys said the same thing, that no, if you don't know why they died, it's not worth it's a chicken.
Right.
It's like you can get plenty of it at the store if you need to. And B, why risk it?
Yeah.
So it's
now I will say that we have taken a cooked rotisserie chicken out there and showed it to them and said, if you don't get in line and start laying more eggs. I mean, we have had that threat, but they didn't seem to understand it.
Yeah, no, that, and they were probably wondering why you didn't give them the rotisserie chicken.
Yes. Well, because and chickens are cannibals. They will eat their own.
Yes.
I know. Unfortunately, I know.
And with ketchup.
It at the school's poultry section one time. One of the chickens died, and then the next overnight, which was the bad part, because the next morning there was a feathery mess, and it was only until parts began turning up that everyone realized what had happened. Because the body didn't get removed in time. And they started pecking.
Yeah, ours never got that far. But usually it's like, we go out in the morning, it's like, because they own our backyard.
Yep.
I should have a run built. Yes, Kim's gonna glare at me now. But yeah, they just own our backyard. So it's like you come downstairs, look through the back door, and it's like, all right, start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, why is there only
where's
5?
number 6?
Yeah, exactly.
That happened to me this morning. I was like, where the crap is Pepper? She was still in the coop because it was still kind of dark because of the clouds.
Oh.
I was having a heart attack.
Yeah, so like we literally lost a chicken like 2 days ago. And so apparently one hadn't left the coop yet this morning, and Kim was a little freaked out.
Yeah, I think we're done with them. Once these 2 are gone, we're not getting any more. And I'm going to turn, and I did build a run for them. It's a 12-foot by 8-foot run. Plus they have their coop that's on the back side of it. But once these 2 are gone, that 8-foot by 12-foot run, that's going to become my greenhouse.
There you go. I mean, I'll be honest. I do like, I do like having them.
The fresh eggs are awesome.
Yeah, well, and to me, it's more about just being a little bit more self-sufficient. Yeah,
but you still have to go to the grocery store and buy chicken feed.
Sort of. Again, they own my yard, so like they eat grass. They eat all like I can't tell you the last time I've seen a bug in my yard.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So
so ticks are non-existent here. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So there's ways to do it without having to go get that. Also, you can give them all sorts of food scrap. It's like, I don't want the top of the strawberry, but the chicken doesn't care.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, again, it's about being just a little bit more self-sufficient, as opposed to, have like, I'm not worried about complete societal collapse, but
I get it. I understand. Yeah.
So,
I mean, of course, chickens, the next step now, you got to get some cows.
Can you stop taking Kim's side?
I mean, bacon tastes good.
Oh, pigs are great, really. But what you really want to protect the whole place with is you want to get some geese.
Oh, yeah.
Guard geese are the best.
No.
They're loyal to you, but they will make a ruckus and they will chase off everything. They are fearless.
Oh, they will fuck up a dog like you wouldn't believe. Like, no shit. There was a textile place near the train station at the second house I lived at, right? They had guard geese, like 4 guard geese, right? No
Guard
one
geese.
broke into that place because the geese would be on them in seconds. And you never saw them coming. Even though they're white, middle of the night, I had been on walks with my dog, like dozens of times walking past that place, always watching the gate as we go past. Don't see a damn thing. All of a sudden, as we're walking past, I was looking.
I was
like they
prepared for it.
It's like they decloaked. They have a form of technology beyond our own.
Okay, guys, it's attack pattern Delta. This one has a dog.
He's watching. He's blink. Attack. Oh man, geese, man, they are amazing.
Oh, that's funny.
Big eggs too.
But do they lay at the same frequency as chickens?
I don't know that they do.
I'm trying to remember. I have a feeling they don't.
Right. Well, so again, my main issue with adding any other animals is just we live in an HOA. Yeah, I have a house 10 feet from my house. So we get away with the chickens because like we're up against a main road and like an access road. So like an access into the neighborhood road. So there's plenty of extra traffic that the noises our chickens make don't bother anyone. But yeah, I don't have room for a cow, nor do I want to try and figure out how to keep a cow in my yard.
So what you're saying is you don't have a cow, man?
Exactly. Well
so
played.
Google, I asked Google, how many times do geese lay eggs in a year? Canada geese lay between 4 and 9 eggs per year. The average is 5. The female lays 1 egg every 1 to 2 days.
Well, because it could just be like during mating season. Because think about it, like whenever you see ducks and geese and whatnot, like, you know, geese and baby geese, you know, there's like 4 or 5 of them around.
Chicks.
Those are baby chickens.
They're all
I don't think
poultry,
they're called,
man.
I don't think they're called chicks. Whatever they are, you know, goslings. Yeah, see, Goslin Rome says goslings.
Okay, I'm gonna start calling them Ryans then.
Right. But yeah, so that's but yeah, again, like ducks and geese usually have like a season, whereas chickens, like we've bred them, so it's like those eggs are coming on regardless.
Oh, see, we didn't have a rooster for ours. I mean, they just lay eggs.
Right.
They're not fertilized. And that's what I was wondering about geese is I just don't know enough of the physiology there.
Well, apparently I don't, so I'm just gonna
I don't
take
either.
my head out of that pot right now.
Okay. Well, on that note, it is 8 a.m. and church starts in 30 minutes, but I haven't gotten ready yet because again,
You're not going to wear a Star Trek shirt to church? Come on.
No.
Be a rebel.
No. I mean, you can. People look at you a little funny, especially when you don't normally show up in the Star Trek shirt.
Start a new trend.
Start a new trend. Have you met many Mormons?
Okay,
Okay, start a really new trend.
Start a really new trend.
I mean, you could still wear the tie.
That would be kind of funny. I mean, I do have a lightsaber tie. So, like,
I've got a Star Trek tie. It has Captain Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and Scotty on it.
Nice.
It's cool. I don't wear it that often anymore.
I mean, how often do you wear a tie?
Prior to the job I have now, it was a daily basis for like 15, 20 years. The job that I have now, I run a print shop, but I also oversee the mail room, and there's a lot of dirty boxes and stuff. So I wear, I wear working clothes that, if they get dirty, they get dirty. So
right.
Ties are not conducive to that. White shirts not conducive to that.
No, not at all. Yeah, I like that's the funny. Like we were like at church last week talking with a friend of mine. I'm like, dude, I don't even own a suit at this point. Like, like wearing a tie is church on Sunday, and that's it. I don't even leave my house.
Yeah.
So where work, no one sees me.
And let's be fair. It's not that, and I don't leave the house either, but it's not because we're scared to go out into the real world and interact with people. It's because we're too damn broke to go out in the world and interact with anybody. I can't afford gas. If I go to the grocery store, I can't afford the bread or the milk or the.
I mean, that's kind of part of it. But it's just like I don't have to. Like,
want to.
Right. Like, it's like Kim made me take her to the mall yesterday. It's like, okay, fine. And that was.
We could have ordered online though.
Yeah. There's a long enough story there, and I do have to go. But yeah, it's just it. I just mean like in general, like I've literally gone like 2 or 3 days before where it's like I haven't even stepped outside to get the mail. So anyhow, all right, I will keep talking, guys. It has been an absolute blast. You're all fantastic. Everyone in chat, sorry we were talking too much and I didn't pay attention to you. But anyways, if I am awake, I will see you next week.
Awesome.
So
have fun.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye. Oh, my goodness. And to all of his CIA Mormons watching, go away. Go to church. Yeah.
See, it's 10 o'clock for me. So if there's any in the Eastern time zone or Central time zone, they'd already be at church.
Yeah. Whereas it's 12:30 for me. So
hey, there's
now
such
Monday.
a thing as midnight mass.
Yeah, but that would be the previous. That's the previous night though.
Yeah. Right.
So it would be the Saturday, Sunday.
Right. Because it's Monday for you now, isn't it?
Yep.
Time travel.
Yeah. It's like being in the future, man.
Yeah. Whoa. So Christmas hits your place first.
Yes. Well, it hits the shoot place first, but yeah, then us. Yeah. Kiwis.
So does Christmas hit the North Pole first? I mean, like, not from the time zone standpoint, but like, wouldn't they get all their toys before anybody else? I mean, shouldn't they be getting their toys before anybody else?
But then Christmas would be the 26th for us. Also, it would depend on what angle the poles were facing at the time.
What if the poles were to switch? Does Santa have to just does he rent a U-Haul? I mean, how does he move all his stuff? You know, what about all the elves and all of the workshops? I mean, how are they going to move that without anybody noticing?
Well, I am under the impression that there's magic involved, but I
Fey
believe that's
lines.
bullshit. Yep.
They use the Fey lines
Oh, Fey lines. Yeah, the ley lines, they could
or
work.
ley line. Yeah, ley lines into the
Yeah.
Fey. Yeah.
Yeah. Although probably not the Fey.
Well, it's elves.
No, they'd probably use the ethereal plane because that's where like you've got like the spirits and things like that, which are more in line with like the elves associated with Christmas. Especially those creepy ones that just like appear as little tiny things that are like this big and they have big this big, and they have big eyes and they kind of look like those Studio Ghibli spirits that kind of have the head that kind of rotates around. And
I think that's the movie Exorcist.
Yeah, but like it rotates like this way.
Oh,
yeah, and not that way.
Not that. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's weird. And they like stare at you. But in Shadowrun lore, there's like everything says that they're benign, but everyone is convinced that they're actually like malevolent, but no one can prove it. So it's hilarious.
So
like,
are they secretly working for Krampus?
Don't know. The lore never specifies. It just says that these things appear around events, like around someone dying, or around a big carnival, or around a celebration, or around a funeral. They will just gather because there's lots of energy around it. But people are convinced that they're malevolent creatures and that they're somehow the cause of like terrible events. And quite frankly, there's evidence to go both ways.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. See, that's another reason why I like to talk about other game systems, because you get this weird lore stuff.
Oh, for sure.
In it.
Well, see, and that's all. That's why I was enjoying listening to what you guys were talking about. With Shadowrun, because I mean, it's I like D&D, but I prefer I prefer my own home brew version of it as opposed to what's in the book itself, because especially 5th edition. I mean, it's we've discussed at length the lack of lore that 5th edition has, and I like lore because that gives me an idea that I can pull from and expand upon. And in hearing about how other systems operate and work mechanic wise, but also lore wise, that helps to feed that imagination. It's just, I enjoy other systems too for that specific reason.
Yeah. It's kind of a shame in that regard, because like when they did dive into lore that actually had some kind of development to it, like it's kind of annoying because, like, as we've said before, Tales from the Radiant Citadel has a lot of good ideas, but because like all the other stuff, it's not followed up on. It's not
right.
It doesn't have any ties to other things. It just has, if you're running an Eberron campaign, you can set this thing here instead.
Right. It's so generic. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I want to know what is the husk? What god was this that they built, this citadel on? What was that? They had some very strong hints at it, but never specified a who, what, or why. I don't know. Missed opportunities. That's all I can say. Missed opportunities.
Yeah. It just, I feel like, and this is why I also try to encourage people to, like, even if you don't have any intention of playing Call of Cthulhu or, Shadowrun or Star Wars or whatever else, right? look into those things for their lore, for their stories and stuff, because you will find things that would inspire you for other things. Like, for example, going back to Shadowrun, there's a infection mutation, awakening virus that hits cows that causes them to create spider-like cow-sized offspring that eat metal.
Wow.
They are jet black nightmares,
Yeah.
and I mean that not in the horse type nightmare, like as in
Yeah.
nightmare.
Yeah.
And they are just they are scary as fuck. Like, it even goes into in the section about the creature, it says like farmers can keep them on the property because they're very good at deterring predators for the flock, but they have to keep them in separate fields, paddocks, because otherwise, if it runs out of metal, it's going to eat anything else, including the cattle, including the other animals, and it will just start devouring through everything. And it's just like, Jesus.
Not sure that I want to keep one of these around. Well, I mean, can you imagine, like, would you have to then hire adventurers to just keep, not adventurers, but hire a bunch of miners just to keep mining ore so that you could feed this thing? Just to deter, would-be other predators?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, I don't remember seeing how long these things are meant to live for, too. But because of their diet, they're kind of hard to kill as well. Because once they reach adulthood, they're basically made out of the same levels of metal that they've been consuming. So they are tough as shit to kill. So yeah, it's a yeah, they're great. See ya, Tori. But yes. Oh, man. Well, I should probably be thinking about going to bed because undoubtedly the kids will be waking me up sometime early. But yes.
Well, they have a tendency to do that. So do our animals. I've got a cat that has a odd, two cats. One gets up at midnight, another gets up at 3 a.m. Then I have a dog that gets up at 5 a.m. like clockwork. So I don't sleep very well at night anymore.
That schedule sounds just like my kids, so but yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, hey, we should probably do the intro. Hey, this is Talkin Drek with Surface Game Masters, and we had Gaming with ADHD here. So I hope you've been enjoying it. You can't ever forget to do the introduction.
That's always very important.
Yes, it's always very important. I mean,
what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I mean, we kind of already covered, talking about cannibalism in the pre-stream. So, there's not really much point to go over that again. But, we've been talking